Hello everyone, welcome to yet another day in this The Clown Decade, the decade where things are only going to get worse before they get better. And today we are looking into a quick video by the millennial version of Steve Bray, Femi Oluwole, who effectively came to prominence as an anti-Brexit activist and appears to have some sort of backing and has appeared in interviews where interviews have had to stop because he has some sort of handler, and is a bit of an orbiter of the Otto English, Carol Vorderman, James O'Brien types. Not quite made it enough to actually get on the mainstream media all that much, especially recently, but was large during the Brexit referendum and effectively won't stop going on about it. And today's video is reacting to a video where he once again brings up Brexit for no reason, but in quite a strange way, I think we'll say. So take it away, Femi.
Even though I have been praying that Luigi Mangione would turn out to be hot, mainly because I wanted to give BookTok a chance to redeem itself after how they handled Wade Wilson.
So already I'm hating all of this. For those that don't get the references there, effectively Wade Wilson was a criminal who was done for first-degree murder and got a death sentence, but an awful lot of BookTok, because they're mentally unhealthy, had sympathy for him because he claimed and probably did have mental health issues, and so it's the sort of thing of, oh, shouldn't he be put in an institution rather than executed? Well, I'm not being funny, but I really don't have any sympathy, no matter the mental state of the person, for someone who strangles someone they happen to meet at a live music bar and then goes out to murder another random woman who is the mother of two. And then when he's arrested, openly says that he'd do it again. So at least I'm on Femi's side that, yeah, this is a guy that people probably shouldn't venerate. However, it is very odd to shame people for that and then at the same time say, oh, at least this other murderer was hot. Because yes, this is a topic that I haven't broached really at all, even on Twitter or on streams I've been on, but yes, this murder of a CEO was bad. And I think it's only a sign that things are going to get worse.
I'm not going to talk about whether or not what he did constituted self-defense within a system where the lives of millions of people are threatened and taken by corporate giants every single day.
Right, once again, this is leftists doing the thing that they always do, where effectively they say, I'm not advocating murder, but I'm completely happy that this murder happened. So according to CBS, there are things that the police know and things that they are still working through, including motive. They said they think it has in part something to do with an injury Mangione suffered. We're learning that he did possibly suffer an accident that caused him to visit the emergency room back in July 4, 2023. The official said the 2.5-page handwritten document that was recovered in his backpack by Altoona, Pennsylvania police, also made it clear that Mangione was furious about the healthcare industry. Authorities say the document will help tie him to the crime. I mean, he was caught on camera, man. Anyway, he used rhetoric like these parasites had it coming. You're referencing an anti-corporate mentality that goes beyond an individual grievance towards a particular injury he had suffered. And then there is Mangione's apparent fixation with the Unabomber. Weiner said investigators found an online review of his book by Mangione that they say sets out, in his view, violence that can be justified to right social wrongs. So this was an endorsement of Ted Kaczynski and his book. And I know for some reason there's an awful lot of love for Ted Kaczynski, and I don't really get why. People seem to focus on the fact that he sent, a bomb to... I'm not even sure which one they prefer. He sent bombs to all sorts of places. So he sent a couple to universities. I guess from the right wing I can understand why that's good. But then he started bombing random airlines with random people on, innocent people. And he also tried to bomb a random computer store. Again, run by completely innocent men. If you like Ted Kaczynski, I just assume there's something wrong with you, and there was clearly something wrong with this guy as well. I'm not being funny. No matter your opinions on the US health insurance companies, it is not reasonable to go out of your way to kill any of them. And even I've been seeing on TikTok people effectively playing apologia for this, and... it's nothing short of a Marxist uprising. I know Ted Kaczynski was right-wing and hated leftists, but at the end of the day, if you're doing anything in the name of class consciousness, which this, by the way, if you're going to tie it to any political thing, which I think it was just a personal grievance, it is Marxist, it's class consciousness, and that is something that we absolutely need to destroy. And this is something that Femi is pushing as well. Femi, effectively with this video, is effectively saying, well, I'm not going to go into detail of what my thoughts are on this murder, but I am just going to put forward the exact same argument that got this CEO killed. So effectively, yeah, he's playing apologia for the murder of a man who loved another terrorist. Oh, because he's hot. Yeah, Normally I title my videos before actually starting them. This time I've done it the other way around because I'm not sure what direction this video is going. But I'm barely 10 seconds in and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to call Kemi a psychopath.
But I do have a message for the people that are taking the hard line that what he did was absolutely wrong. It's never justified to take a life. He should go to jail.
Do you not think killing someone in cold blood means that they should go to jail? Is that what we're saying? Are we saying that this was a justified murder? Is that directly what you're saying here, Kemi? Because I keep calling him Kemi. Femi, because I'm not going to lie. This is borderline stuff that can get you thrown in jail. But even putting that aside, it is obviously just immoral to justify shooting someone in the back, no matter the case. Again, this wasn't done by some hero of the working class. This was done by an absolute coward who channeled his anger into, well, murderous rage. This is what you're defending, Femi, and I kind of can't believe you're saying this.
I just want to make sure that you're keeping that energy consistently. Because in English law, when it comes to murder, you have to at least intend grievous bodily harm, but that intent can be direct or indirect, and direct is obviously what we all know intent to be, but indirect means that you do an action where you know that there's a virtual certainty that it will cause grievous bodily harm to another.
Yeah, so, for instance, you'll be done for murder if you go 60 miles per hour on a pavement where pedestrians are going to be, yes. And saying, oh, I thought it would be empty at 3 AM, officer, I was just having a bit of fun, yeah, that's obviously no excuse to not have you be excused from murdering that, I don't know, 18-year-old who was walking home from a night out. Random hypothetical, I know, but the thing is that Femi's going to then direct this into effectively, if you don't give healthcare to absolutely everyone, then you're a murderer. Which is not what murder is. You won't be murdered for not doing CPR on someone who may necessarily need it.
So if, for example, you're a health insurance company that denied a third of all health insurance claims in 2023, which is higher than the national average, while making profits of £22 billion, which means that you could have afforded to help those people who are crying out in medical need.
That says dollars, Kemi, that's $22 billion. And yes, health insurance companies are ridiculously rich, I know. I've got my issues with the American system. Nobody wants the American system in Britain or anywhere else. People want a European system where, guess what, they still make profits, but it's still pretty much universal. And even then, in the case of these companies, oh, they deny like 30% of them. Well, that means they accept 70% of them. Alright, they deny more than the average. I mean, do we have any evidence that these denials were unjust? Don't get me wrong, I understand that insurance companies are some of the worst companies ever. There's entire films made about it, like, Fight Club was a whole insurance company thing. The Incredibles have it as well. I know there's a meme that insurance companies are absolutely the worst thing ever, which I don't think they are. They could probably be better, I guess is my position. Are they bad enough to justify this murder like Femi is doing? Absolutely not. This is crazy. Again, this is encouraging further murders. That is what Femi is doing at the moment. This is something that can land you in jail, and I don't know why he doesn't realise that.
That means you were making a decision that you knew was virtually certain to cause grievous bodily harm to thousands of people.
No, because the insurance might be fraud. I mean, listen, I get private health through my job, and this year I had to have some dental work done because I had some cavities, and it ended up costing hundreds, and this private health coverage covers only a certain amount. Now, when I'm in the job for 2 years, I get much more than I do for the first 2 years. So the private health coverage didn't cover it all. And, I've not ended up dying from it, but I have had to pay out of pocket to make up the other hundreds that they wouldn't cover. Now, let's say it was something more serious. I'm in hospital with kidney failure or something. And, they covered the private health there, but not all of it. And I end up dying because I can't afford it, is that them murdering me? The answer is no. I mean, I know we have an NHS here, but this is a hypothetical. The answer is no. There are terms and conditions to all this. Insurance companies, I know, do tend to go a bit more on the harsher side when they make these decisions. But at the end of the day, this Luigi, I think he did something to his back and had to end up having spinal surgery, and I think effectively whatever he did obviously wasn't covered by the insurance on some technicality, and he's obviously held a grievance since. And effectively, I don't know how you can't see through this. He is using the whole meme of insurance companies are evil and killing people as a wider excuse to do this, and you have basically fallen for it hook, line and sinker. Now again, I don't want to defend the US healthcare system, but it is absolutely a fact that insurance companies don't hide their terms and conditions. It's not particularly difficult, at least with insurance companies that I've paid for, to see what they do and don't cover. And for whatever reason, Luigi's health coverage did not cover his back injury. I don't know why. I don't know the details. Was it unfair or not? I don't know. Even if it was unfair, this does not justify it. And you trying to play cover for what he did is despicable. And frankly, I don't know how you haven't been arrested yet. This is a horrific video.
So where's your jail time? Or if you're a politician and you know that tens of thousands of people in your country lose their lives every single year because of these things, and you're not doing everything you can to restrict the Second Amendment, again, that's indirect intent, goes straight to jail.
No, that is absolutely absurd. You've taken this indirect intention and widened it to such an extent that you're describing something that it doesn't even mean, let alone intended to mean. As I say, indirect intention means you do something that is putting someone in harm's way and it just so happens that someone gets killed from it. Effectively, it's criminal negligence, but there's actually been a death as a result from that criminal negligence. Not banning guns. Again, by the way, majority of this gun crime happens in states where there is a massive amount of gun control. So if you're blaming the Second Amendment, you're going to the wrong place, because the Second Amendment you end up having Texas gun laws, I guess I'll call them, where the regulation is effectively as loose as possible, but you don't get as much gun crime as you do in, say, Detroit or something like that, where gun control is way more restrictive. So effectively you're saying the people in Texas, the lawmakers in Texas, deserve to die more than those in Detroit, despite the fact that Detroit has a much worse gun crime problem. I know you don't particularly look into these issues properly, Femi, but again, effectively what you're saying here, indirectly, if we're playing fast and loose with these terms, is that anyone who is not anti-Second Amendment deserves to be killed. That is what you are saying here.
And if you're going to argue that they shouldn't go to jail for simply not doing the right thing, well, in English law there's a case where somebody found somebody who was injured on the street, took them home to their house, left them on the couch, and that person passed away. And that person went to jail. Why? Because by taking them off the street, they deprived them of the chance of being found by an ambulance, and therefore they're responsible for what happens to them.
What a really weird hypothetical. And by the way, no, that's not true. You don't go to jail because you took someone home who was injured on the street and they happened to die. No one would go to jail for that. There'd certainly be an inquest. But you don't go to jail because you took someone out of a situation where there is a chance they will have been found by an ambulance. Like, what is that hypothetical? The law in Britain doesn't impose that you actually assist or call for help for someone when there's an emergency, by the way. This is a weird hypothetical. Like, you know, you're making it out like, unless someone's tried to hide a body, I guess, then they'd go to jail for that. But your hypothetical seems to be someone with mental health issues just finds someone who's injured on the streets and just takes them home to the couch, possibly because, you know, maybe it's the best thing they think it is for them. I mean, I don't know why I'm seriously engaging in this hypothetical. It's an absolutely ridiculous one. No, you would not go to jail because you didn't assist someone. I guess his argument is that they're putting them more in harm's way because, well, I guess they're taking them out of the way of being able to be assisted. Again, this is a hypothetical that I can't even see ever making it in real life, so it's really hard to find comparisons to. But as I say, if you took someone home with the intention of helping them, you wouldn't go to jail. If you took someone home with the intention that they would not get help, yes, you could possibly go to jail for that. But that's not what he said.
I.e., if you prevent somebody else doing the right thing, then you are responsible for the right thing not being done.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. But again, we've gone so far away from the Luigi Mangione story here that this is basically nothing to do with health insurance companies in the US or how they operate. Again, all you've done in this 4-minute video so far is... I don't even think you've disavowed the murder, actually. Did he disavow the murder? No, he's not, but to be fair to him, I think his point has more been, oh, if you think Luigi should go to jail, you think that basically every CEO should go to jail, basically, or every lawmaker that's not against gun control. You gotta realise this is his position. Basically, you should be able to go to jail for holding a political position. That is Femi's... that is Femi's position here. Which, again, I just find amazing. Not only is he playing apologia for this murder, but he is also demanding at the same time that if you think he should go to jail, then surely every CEO in existence should go to jail. Maybe it's not that extreme, but certainly ones in the health business, lawmakers who are in favour of the Second Amendment. Again, this is crazy. Psychotic even. I kind of can't believe he made this video and put it out there.
So if you're a politician who runs for office and you don't do everything you can to restrict weapons, and some other politician could have done, you're responsible for what happens with those weapons.
Absolute nutcase. There is absolutely no system on Earth that would ever take a position like this seriously. That is nuts. Because the thing is, if you extrapolate this, obviously he's talking specifically about democracies here. So if we're putting the policymakers in jail, surely you then have to look at who voted them in and put them in jail too. Do you understand how crazy that is? You basically want to jail half of America because they believe in their God-given right to bear arms. And again, over in Britain, is policymakers failing to stop all knife crime mean that, Sadiq Khan needs to go to jail? A rape has been committed an hour in London since Sadiq Khan became mayor. Should Sadiq Khan go to jail? No, you wouldn't say that. Of course you wouldn't say that, because you like Sadiq Khan. No, the point here is that he wants to jail Republicans and make excuses for someone who killed someone that he doesn't like. That is this video. I kind of can't believe he made it, as I keep saying.
Well, let's take things a bit closer to home. In 2018, the British Medical Association, which represents 150,000 doctors across the UK, said that a no-deal Brexit would be a catastrophe for the NHS, the National Health Service, and make us more vulnerable to deadly pandemics.
Yeah, amazingly, this is what it all... The man's a Brexit or anti-Brexit activist. I'm not surprised he's brought it to it, but yeah, this was the whole point of the video. Oh, if you think Luigi Maggioni should be in jail, then you think Nigel Farage should be in jail. Checkmate, atheists. That is his argument here. This is embarrassing.
Yet in 2019, Boris Johnson was saying,
I think it's a great shame that we've missed the opportunity to come out at no deal.
And then Nigel Farage and the Reform Party then said, no deal Brexit is the way to go.
I mean, for a start, it was the Brexit Party at the time, but it is basically the same party. And secondly, again, we'd never got no deal Brexit, so we have absolutely no evidence that what the doctors were saying is true. What you're effectively saying now is that doctors should have the power to say, I want to arrest these politicians. That is what is being said here. I cannot believe you made this video.
And that's on top of the fact that every medical body in the country was saying that Brexit would severely damage our National Health Service. So to go ahead with Brexit and even talk about the most extreme version of Brexit, when all the doctors, nurses, radiologists, midwives were all saying that this will cost lives, again, you are doing something which you know there is a virtual certainty that it will cause at least grievous bodily harm to thousands of people.
Again, there is no evidence that that is true. Do you not think that these institutions get things wrong? Do you trust everything the ONS says? Do you trust The ONS has to redo its statistics basically every quarter because it keeps getting their statistics wrong. Guess what an awful lot of these doctors base their opinions off? Bad ONS statistics. And again, the main thing I want to get across here is that this is all hypothetical. What Kemi wants people in jail for is for a hypothetical worse situation with no deal Brexit that never materialised. We don't put people in jail for hypothetical crimes, you absolute maniac.
So if you want us to take you seriously about wanting this guy in jail because of your respect for human life, then you need to start arresting politicians and CEOs.
Mentalist, he just outright says it there. Again, he didn't actually disavow the murder there, but I'm going to be charitable and say he probably thought the murder was bad, and he thinks that this is some clever gotcha. But I'm not being funny, this does come across as Kemi being a little bit of a psychopath. Because realistically, how would any of this work? It wouldn't. You can't jail people for political positions that they hold. Again, you are trying to compare someone who directly shot a CEO in the back with someone like Nigel Farage who wanted Brexit for a plethora of reasons. Again, indirect murder doesn't come from economic policy. Think about the USSR. People don't call Stalin a murderer because of his economic policies. They call him a murderer because he put kulaks in the gulag and ordered their execution. Hitler didn't kill people via his economic policies. Hitler killed people by putting them in Auschwitz. It is mental to me that you would even compare these things, but for some reason, you are still talking about Brexit when basically the rest of the country just doesn't care. We've gone beyond Brexit now, but it's all you have. Which probably explains why this mental video only got about 400 likes on Twitter, and you only just got ratioed, because basically people don't really care what you have to say. The only reason I've covered this is because I thought this video was absolutely nuts. And it gives me a quick springboard to quickly talk about the Luigi Maggioni case, which, oh, what a shock. I think murder's bad. But anyway, I think that'll do it for this video. So, next Monday we've got the Antiquity stream over on the Worcester Club. Then on Tuesday we have Tosh News, that'll be good fun. Saturday it will be Laughing at the Guardian, the Christmas special, so do come along to that as well. And then videos will be out as and when I can make them. So with that, please do become a subscriber, do become a member, do send super chats, super thanks. They're all very good for helping keep the channel going. And that's everything I had for you for today. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.